What's up, everybody? Chris Fluke here, Chris Fluke Podcast, episode number 126. Today we're going to be introducing a few concepts to you. We're going to introduce this idea about kind of always being an athlete, this gas station ready approach. You know, this whole idea of like, you know, when things are about to go down, are you in the best physical condition you could be in to kind of help matters? Are you going to be able to be useful, as some of this old time thinking goes? Now, I had a talk this week with a guy and he was like, hey, if you want to look like an athlete, don't you need to train like an athlete? And I said, yeah, that's a great idea, right? Great concept, great way to go about thinking about putting a training program together. But in addition to that, it's like, why would you want to just look like an athlete? Why wouldn't you want to just be an athlete, right? Why not try to be as athletic as possible? Now, like I said in my previous episode, you know, something's got to give, right? You might not always have the training time with work, family, all the other responsibilities, right? But when you do have that opportunity to train, why not do it in a way that's going to make you as prepared for life as possible? This guy, Erwan Lacour, he's got MoveNat, which is a great thing. You know, I see this guy training adults, and I'm seeing the same stuff he's doing with adults that I do with, you know, the 4, 5, 6-year-olds, the 8, 9-year-olds, the 11-year-olds, right? Different balance beam stuff, challenging their balance, proprioception, getting them balancing, ducking under things, stepping over things, jumping from one thing to the other, right? Boom, boom, boom. That might get you prepared for a situation, an emergency situation where you might have to, you know, take a leap or balance or step from one step to the next, stepping stones almost. You're out in the water and you got to get across a creek. Can you stand on one leg, reach, step on the next stone, all right? And then do it again, and then do it again. And keep having the ability to repeat that behavior over and over again, right? So that's where that stuff kind of shows up in life, right? Another idea is like, when you're out running, are you just going for this long, slow jog? First off, are you even running? I guess that would be the idea, right? But Marty Gallagher, this great coach in Pennsylvania, was like, hey, I mean, I'm going for runs every day. I'm feeling pretty good. He's like, and then I'm out at a park and there's a dog on the loose chasing somebody. And I went to go help. And when I went to go sprint, he's like, I just didn't have the ability to sprint. I was slow. I could not get myself to move fast. And that's the moment that something clicked for him. In order for me to run fast, I have to move fast, all right? This could look a lot of different ways. You could try to run sleds as fast as possible. You could find a nice hill which limits the impact, but you might want to start running up a hill, all right? You might want to start doing some faster runs. The long, slow stuff is fine, but let's say every 4 months, every 3 or 4 months, you switch up your training, man. Maybe you do some intervals. Maybe you do some sprint work. Maybe you do some hill work. Maybe you go back to the long, slow stuff, and you just keep cycling. Now, 3 or 4 months is a long time. Could be 10 to 12 weeks, whatever it may be. But you need to train yourself in different ways to prepare yourself for whatever life might throw at you. And lastly, when we start looking at the strength components of things, right, putting on some muscle mass is great, I guess, if that's what your goal is. How helpful is that? You know, the bodybuilding style approach, how helpful is that? You know, if you have a hard time getting down to tie your shoes or you can't even put your arms behind your back, probably not super helpful. You're probably going to set yourself up for some long-term injury, increased chance of injury, we'll say. Powerlifting, right? I was talking to a high schooler. You know, the father of this individual just hammers heavy weights all the time. And he's in his 50s now, and, you know, his conditioning is probably poor. He doesn't do anything like that. If a situation arises, are you ready to go? You might have your absolute strength up, but if you're getting winded going up and down the stairs a few times, or you have to climb 7 flights of stairs, you know, in an apartment because the elevator's not working, or 17 flights in a hotel, like, are you going to be good for that? Are you going to have to stop and take breaks? You know, I'd rather be that person that is good for that, right? I'd rather be, yeah, you might get out of breath. Yeah, your muscles are going to hurt, but you could still kind of go through it. Why? Because your training gave you that, right? So when we think about this idea, let's get out of that idea of like, instead of looking like an athlete, let's be an athlete, all right? So how do we do that? We start putting a program together that involves all of these components, right? The stuff that we do at a young age, let's do it as we're an adult, right? As we make our way through life, all of these different stages that we're going to go through. You know, when you're in that, before you hit the age of 10, say, your body's trying to figure out all of these different things, and by doing so, your brain's getting challenged, and when your brain's getting challenged, all of these things are getting lit up and fired up. You're using your brain in these new and exciting ways. As an adult, are you doing that? Are you challenging your brain with different ways? Are you walking across a beam? You know, are you trying to fight that brain deterioration at all? Are you doing things with your opposite hand? Are you trying to, you know, skip, walk backwards, run backwards, do anything like that that's just different? holding a weight and trying to balance your way across different things, picking stuff up and trying to get it somewhere else. Are you doing this stuff? If not, I think we need to start adding it back in. The second part of that is this era of like, you're hitting that 10 to 20 range, right? If you're a boy, you got this testosterone pumping through your body. This is a great period of time to build strength. That strength you build at that time in your life is going to be the strength that's going to last the longest. It's going to last, the stronger you are when you're 15 and 20, the stronger you're going to be when you're 50, okay? So we have to keep that in mind. If you're a parent of a kid, build some strength. And if you're a parent, you need to build some strength too. How do you do it? Follow a similar approach that, say, a young athlete might do. You want to do some stuff to get your body moving fast. Ball slam, maybe a box jump, maybe a fast sled push, something like that. Kettlebell swing where you got an explosive movement, all right? Those are fine. Olympic lifts, if you're cool with it, cleans, great. Dumbbell snatching, great. Kettlebell snatching, great. Kettlebell cleans, great. If you have the ability to run. Get your conditioning up, all right? Remember what I said, every 10 to 12 weeks. 3 to 4 months is a little too long. Ignore that advice. 10 to 12 weeks. All right? A little bit shorter than 3 months. Cycle through. There's a season for everything. Maybe in the summertime you do some sprints. Maybe in the fall you do some long, slow running. Maybe in the wintertime you go inside and do some bicycling or you do some swimming. And then maybe as the spring comes, you get back outside for some interval work. Something like that, right? All right. So now we got to train like an athlete so we can be an athlete, right? We know this concept of physical preparedness. Let's not lose sight of that. So now we already hit what you do from 0 to 10, challenging the brain with all this different stuff. Let's do that as adults. That 10 to 20-year-old range, right? If you got a child, get them in the weight room then. That's a huge window of opportunity to build some strength and build these neural connections that cannot be replicated at all later in life. All right? Now we're hitting that 30-plus age, right? 30 to 40, you still got the ability to kind of maintain where you're at before that aging starts deteriorating everything, okay? Anywhere from 1 to, say, 3%, and you're going to lose that every year beyond the age of 40, okay? So let's try to maintain and build that in that 20 to 30 range, all right? Then in that 30 and 40 range, let's continue to try to build. We have to fight Father Time. Father Time always wins. There's going to be a slow deterioration that's going to occur in our lives. Let's try to push that off for as long as possible. You hit that 40 age, your ability to move your body fast is going to start to slow down, all right? How do we combat that? We have to train fast, all right? So you're going to lose power anywhere from, like, say, 1.5 to 3% every year, all right? You compound that over 10 years, you're looking at, anywhere from, 15 to 30% reduction. I think the sweet spot number that I saw was 17% reduction in power every decade. All right, that's a lot. That's why when you see people that are 70, they can't move their muscles fast. That's what power is, really. Being able to contract and move in a fast manner, that's why they can't do it. Their hips can't extend fully. They can't really fire these muscles to get them moving fast. They don't have the muscular strength or endurance to kind of keep an upright posture. All right? These are things we have to combat as we age. Muscle strength is going to deteriorate. Lean body mass is going to deteriorate. We're going to get fatter. We're going to get more hunched over, and we're going to get slower. Those are 3 things that I don't think anybody wants to be, all right? So now, in summation here, let's challenge yourself like you're a young kid. Let's get balancing, all right? Let's try to build strength like you're hitting those, those adolescent years where the sky's the limit, right? In those 20s and 30s, let's maximize our strength abilities, right? The strength we have then is going to carry over. Stronger, guys, just remember, the stronger you are when you're 30, the stronger you're going to be when you're 50, 60, 70. Let's keep that in mind. On the flip side, let's not forget that powerlifting and losing at the expense of conditioning is not the way to do it. Let's build strength, but let's also condition ourselves in a way that we can be useful if life calls for it. If we do have to sprint up 17 flights of stairs in a hotel to go help somebody, if we do have to go sprinting in a park to go help somebody that fell over, or to chase a dog off somebody, whatever it may be, right? Using the examples I previously used, we have to be useful. The greatest indicator of our longevity is going to be our ability to use oxygen, right? Our lung capacity. So you don't want to build strength at expense of lung capacity. You don't want to get tired going up the stairs. You want to be able to go up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down all over again. That is why we cycle through the conditioning. We do some sprint work, some interval work, some cross-training stuff that we don't usually do maybe. bicycling, rowing, swimming, fan bike, whatever it may be, long, slow running, whatever it is, right? That's why we need to condition ourselves well. It's going to boost our ability to recover, and it's going to increase our lifespan, all right? Our all-cause mortality is going to decrease with increases in our VO2 max. So where are we at here? What did I forget? That's about it. Don't just train to look like an athlete, train to be an athlete. Doesn't matter what age you are, you can challenge yourself in ways that will produce a better version of who you are. Hope you guys like this one. Peace.